motherfucker off so fast. Alright, something's coming! In reply, Diana summoned what looked like a saber and placed it in front of us. Oh, would it be Star Wars now?
Ready yourselves!
Oh, Jesus
it could
Christ.
be the Demon Lord!
I'm ready! Am I still in my dress? Shit. The other demons in the room readied themselves and stared at the tear, either holding a weapon or preparing a spell. I felt the air change, becoming heavier as the tear began to grow. The energy around it began to pulsate, making everyone in the room that much more tense. I stared at the tear as well, frightened as to what was coming. Was it the Demon Lord? His minions? My mind began to cycle through fearful ideas of what might appear. A giant penis? What? My heart almost stopped. Fallen from the tear and landing on the table were the 5 Incubi brothers. What? They were piled on top of one another, having come through one at a time. I guess I was kinda right. There's 5 penises. However, as the last brother landed, the boy fell to one side, toppling off. The boys fell to one side, toppling off to the table and landing on the floor. The rebels around me stared at the fallen pile of Incubi, confused and surprised. As the tear in the air closed, the ogre man was the first to lower his sword. Surprisingly, you know, since he seems like the one that wants to fucking slaughter everyone the most.
What the hell?
That's what I'm saying.
Who are they?
5 Incubi.
Careful! They could be the Demon Lord's men!
Nope, definitely not. No! The rebels looked to me as I stood up, Diana following and still protecting me, and as I stared at the boys on the ground. They all looked dazed and a bit shell-shocked from having fallen twice in rapid succession. I almost couldn't believe it. They were there, right in front of me. My mind couldn't help but remember how I had first met them. They had all been on the floor of my mansion, unconscious and wounded. Now they were in front of me in the demon world. Yep, that's how it started. I know them. Hey, what's up? Man, I missed you guys. Hey, Matthew, my boy. I stared at the one I was meant to marry, seeing him slowly shake his head and rise from the ground. They came to rescue me. He came to rescue me. My heart became overjoyed and full of warmth and happiness. Yeah, well, you're forgetting one little issue. Kinda doesn't matter because you can't leave either way until this is all over. So, just saying. Nope, you're not going home yet. Were you listening before? The question was, how? As the sight of the boys kept the demon's attention, a second tear opened above them, causing everyone to look up. 4 women dropped... What? 4 women dropped down the tear, and someone managed to fall into the arms of the Incubi behind Matthew.
Whoa!
Wait, so these are... Oh, no, these are just women. I thought they said they were incubuses?
I gotcha.
I get you. Are these all their girlfriends? Oh, that's kind of cute.
Whoa, are you okay?
Aw.
Eric!
Oh. But do you have horns? Or what the fuck are those? Pinchers? Are you a fucking, like, scorpion? What the hell?
Love, I've got you.
Oh, these are their girlfriends. That's so cute.
James!
Okay.
Whoa, are you alright?
What? What's happening right now? I stared, wide-eyed. Their wives came to... Oh, they're all married? What? That's so cute. I wonder who Matthew's wife would be. I guess we'll find out when we play through again with someone else. I watched as the boys and the girls finally planted themselves on the ground before looking around. However, Matthew instantly bolted for me, causing Diana to jump away in surprise.
Whoa!
Oh, damn. She just, like, fucking shoved her out. Move, bitch! Matthew wrapped his arms around me, and I instinctively tensed up from being charged at before taking in his scent and physical form. You smell delicious, Matthew. I missed you. He was here. I wasn't dreaming. He really came for me, and he was here holding me.
Are you okay? Are you hurt?
I'm as okay as I can get after missing my own fucking wedding, but you know, it's good. It's cool, bro. I'm fine. I almost couldn't believe it, but I wrapped my arms around Matthew's torso, pulling him tighter to me as I took in one more whiff of his scent. Okay. However, before I could melt into his arms in relief at his presence, he was forcefully dragged backwards.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
Oh, God.
Whoa!
Huh? Oh, she mad? Are you jealous, girl? I'll give you some attention too. Or boy, whatever you are. I don't know what you are. I watched as the fairy figure gripped Matthew's hoodie and roughly pulled him away from me with an angered face. Wait, hold on!
Matthew!
Oh, damn. Before anyone could react, Matthew spun around and swiped at the fairy. They squeaked and released him, floating higher into the air.
Hands off!
You hands off!
You're what? I'm confused. You're the one that touched him first! I quickly rushed over and held Matthew's hand, wanting to bring his attention away from the fairy and back to me. Kiss him? Why not? Mwah! Love you, baby. I reached up and grabbed Matthew's face, pulling him to me, and kissed him. His eyes stared in shock before he melted against my lips and held my head in his hands, kissing me deeper. Ah, that's so romantic. I closed my eyes in sync with his as I lowered my hands and wrapped them around his shoulders. I was beyond happy to feel him again. At that moment, I didn't even care how he had found me. I was just happy that he was there with me again. Fortunately, Matthew and I couldn't stay close for long. The very shouting caused us to pull apart to look at them.
He has the same aura as the Demon Lord!
Well, because he is his son? I'm pretty sure they probably all have the same aura. Rubbing her head and glaring at the fairy, Diana stepped up, crossing her arms and rubbing her temple.
Well, he is the son of the demon.
As I've said.
That's not what I meant! I'm saying...
Oh, okay, girl. I mean, thing, whatever you are, calm down.
Come on, let's get you home.
I can't. Matthew gently took my hand and tugged me towards his brothers. However, this time, Diana stepped in front of Matthew.
I'm afraid she can't leave.
Yeah.
And why not? She's been cursed. She can't leave this plane without dying.
It's true.
But if you wish to kill your bride to bring her back to the demon world, then be my guest.
Alright, Diana. Okay, let's not offer that as an option. I don't think I'm really content with that choice. Matthew glared at Diana and stepped in front of me protectively.
Why should I believe you?
Well, you can believe me, and I was here through the whole thing. It's true, Matthew. The Demon Lord cursed me, so I can't leave. I placed my hand on Matthew's shoulder, causing him to turn his head and look at me in surprise. His expression morphed from anger to sudden fear.
What?
Pretty damn serious, unfortunately.
We are, but don't worry. We plan to kill the one who cursed her soon enough.
Yeah.
When?
Sometime?
1
Soon?
week's time.
A week, I guess?
1 week? What?
God, that thing is really loud.
Where is this number coming from, Succubus?
We need to fully prepare ourselves for the final stage, which I'm certain will only take a couple of days. We've pinned him into a corner.
Oh, okay.
The Demon Lord will fall.
Sure.
That's rather bold to assume.
Hey, she's just trying to give you hope.
She's right, though.
Yeah.
We can prepare everything in that time frame, right?
Yes, I believe.
And if he does the same and attacks us before then?
He won't.
She's pretty sure he won't, apparently. I watched as Diana walked over and cleared the table of the materials they had gathered for the gate spell, revealing a physical map of the abyssal plains. She pointed to a spot in the map, a peninsula surrounded by water labeled as the Decaying Sea.
We'll cast a barrier spell along the edge of the peninsula and around the castle. He and his army won't be able to move from that spot until we break it ourselves, which will be during the siege.
Seems like a smart enough plan.
Where would we get the energy needed for that kind of spell?
There's like 10 extra people now. I mean, 9? Wait, there's 5 boys, 4 of them have wives. So yeah, pretty much.
We won't be using energy.
Never mind, fuck it. Fuck what I was saying, just fuck it. The other rebel demons in the room suddenly tensed up, staring at Diana in surprise. What was she gonna do?
My lady, you're not suggesting.
What are you suggesting?
The Demon Lord has shown how far he is willing to go to win this war. It's only fitting to show the extent we'll go to in response.
I don't know, Tap, but I like the sound of that, maybe.
As much as I agree with you, this seems a little rash.
I think I agree with it.
What are you guys talking about?
I don't know, Matthew.
Are they allowed to know?
I plan to put a barrier curse around the Demon Lord's castle and army.
Okay, I figured as that. That much.
So it won't need the blood of 1,000 demons, but it will need the sacrifice of at least 1 demon life.
Oh,
And I assume you'll be sacrificing one of my soldiers.
Is this our only option?
There are other options, but they will most likely take a lot of energy to pull off.
okay.
It just depends
So-
on what we want to do. If we want to do this immediately, then the barrier curse is indeed the best option.
Okay, I hope this isn't a choice for me, 'cause fucking no.
I'm not opposed to performing the curse. As rash as it is, it will make our lives easier in the long run.
You expect me to hand over one of my men? My soldiers joined the rebellion to kill the Demon Lord.
I'm just
not
gonna
to
let
get
you guys discuss.
It's wrong, but can we really afford to spend any more energy? Diana already spent a lot
That's
trying to
also
save a
pretty
human
true.
world.
What is the other option?
The rabbit woman and the fairy moved towards the map and pointed at the peninsula.
Form tall rock walls around the castle. Box him in.
It will take a lot of our energy, but we can recover in that week period.
But that also leaves you vulnerable if something were to happen before then. So...
And what will stop the Demon Lord from tearing down the walls?
I can imbue the walls with holy magic.
Incubi and I looked at him, all of us equally surprised. A demon with holy magic? How?
How the fuck did you get holy magic?
That's my other favorite one besides Matthew. Because he's so, like, fucking bold in all of his statements, it's hilarious. The guard held up his wrapped hand, letting the beads around it jangle with a sudden motion.
I've had the ability to use holy magic ever since I was taken in by my lady's family. There's no doubt that I am a demon, but I can't recall how I gained this ability.
So mysterious, eh? How is holy magic different than demon magic?
It's white
Well,
magic.
okay, that's a really
Unlike
obvious fucking question.
Holy magic isn't so finicky. Think of it as warding or dispelling magic. You can't bless air or anything that doesn't have physical form, but you can bless objects to
Okay.
bring back.
If the walls were blessed with holy magic, the demon lord wouldn't be able to escape until we released him.
Why not just trap him forever?
Good
That's
point.
idiotic. He would still be a threat regardless. Holy magic doesn't last forever. And stone will crumble.
Also,
eventually.
a good point.
He's right. We wouldn't be able to keep the walls up forever.
The situation became more and more complicated the more we discussed it. How are we going to go about this?
We can't just sit around and debate this forever. The longer we wait, the more we risk him striking back at us.
Okay.
But is it worth killing someone to trap him?
When we finally strike, we will lose hundreds, if not thousands, of soldiers anyway. What difference will it make to lose one more life on top of this?
Soulless fuck.
Damn.
We can still cage him in.
I bit my lip. It was a really tough decision. A curse or a trap? Which was better? Both had their prices, but we had to choose one. From the look of it, no one wanted to speak up, so I felt the urge to say something. Maybe I would be the one who would determine everything. Why? Why do I have to be the one that determines this? I'm not a soldier. I'm not a soldier. Which method would be the best choice? Oh, fuck. Shit. The curse is obviously going to be the better choice because not only is it more powerful, but none of them are weakened. And that means they're strong enough so if something happens, they're not vulnerable. But there's also the morality behind of just fucking killing someone for it. Shit. Shit. I guess, obviously the better option is the curse. Because, as I said, and the only negative point against it is the fact that you're killing someone. You have to sacrifice someone for the greater good. I just don't think, I know like governments do that shit all the time. I think that's, I don't know. I'm just gonna go with the trap. They're gonna be a little weakened, but hopefully that won't affect us badly. Everyone in the room looked at me as I finally spoke. We needed to be better than the Demon Lord. He was willing to sacrifice lives to trap me here, but it only showed how desperate he was to win and how little he valued life. That's true. He would lose this war one way or another. It wasn't worth losing someone who couldn't help turn the tide of war. Turn the tide of war. Can you put up a barrier?
We can leave after this, meeting is over.
Alright then.
Are you sure this is the best choice?
I believe so. Well, obviously the other choice, but morality-wise, I think this is the best choice. This isn't the only option. We need to show that we're better than him. That's also, I don't know why this war is happening. I figure it's because he's, you know, killing people, nobody likes him. So you obviously want people to like you. That's a better option for that. Everyone nodded, some with confidence, while others did with confidence. I looked at Diana just in time to catch a twitch from her eye. But she shook her head and looked at the rabbit woman.
Are you quite positive this will work?
I am very certain. Since it will be just 3 of us going, we can shadow travel there and be back by the morning.
Diana looked at her guard and nodded.
Very well. If you believe it will work, then I trust you will make sure it does.
Yeah. As the guard nodded and slightly bowed, the other demons seemed to let out a sigh of relief. Were they worried about performing the curse? Diana shook her head before crossing her arms and looking directly at me.
So, since you'll be here for a while, we might as well give you names that you can use to refer to everyone.
That would be pretty helpful. How about Bunny Ears? Tits McGee? Well, actually, I already know your name, so I guess that doesn't matter. Fucking Horn Man?
Are we getting human names?
Sure, I suppose.
Must we?
Diana rolled her eyes and gestured to each demon, naming them on the fly.
For the sake of time, we'll use simple names.
Rabbit?
This is Rabbit,
Okay.
our magic advisor. Sergeant, commander of our armies. Shadow, leader of our assassins.
alright.
And Faye, our nomadic force ambassador.
Nice. Nice to meet you.
Sergeant, I'm a commander, succubus. Shouldn't my name be Commander?
He's really gonna be upset about that.
It's easier on the tongue, though, to say sergeant.
That's pretty true. Commander, sergeant.
What shall
It's
they
kind of
call
the same.
me?
Oh. Diana looked at Saro for a moment before turning towards me, a look of seriousness emanating from her eyes. Well, if I already know her name, or his name.
You may call him Cero. He is my personal guard, and he is always by my side.
Okay. The other demons in Saro seemed to be surprised. Was Saro his true demon name? Why would she give me his true name?
Are you sure?
Call him only if your life depends on it.
Okay.
Do not abuse this permission.
This is what I was saying before, pretty much. If you know a demon by their real name, which obviously his real name is Saro, and you call out to it, they'll be teleported, summoned to you on the spot. So in emergency situations, obviously it would happen. I know Matthew's real demon name, and now I know his. I don't think I know Diana's in this version. Her eyes seemed to burn as she gazed into mine, full of hard intent and warning. I mentally noted her seriousness as she ran a hand through her hair.
Well, now that we have a plan and introductions are out of the way, I believe we can end this meeting. We have a lot to accomplish in 1 week.
He's just over there like, gun, what's up, fam?
What about
You
us?
put your hand
you
down?
don't expect us to sit around.
Actually,
Yeah,
I do.
apparently.
You all don't belong on the battlefield.
What are you talking about?
So, I'm gonna assume they're not all humans like me.
I will
I
not
don't
take
know.
untrained and unarmed beings into a war zone.
Hold on, I interjected, stepping forward and crossing my arms at Diana. She seriously wasn't gonna make us stay back. She seriously wasn't gonna make us stay back while she fought the Demon Lord, was she? Well, she's got a point though, like, I mean, we can fight, but we're definitely not gonna be that useful if we don't know how to fight. I mean, well, like, I know the suck incubuses, they know how to fight, I know that. But I don't, I'll just say we can fight too. Diana squinted at me, pressing her lips together into a fine line. However, I meant what I said. We could fight too.
You expect me to trust that you can fight in a war?
Me, personally, no, but I know they can fight.
Let me and my brothers train then. We're demons, for fuck's sake. We know how to fight.
God. Oh, Sam. The boys stared at Diana as she turned her head towards Sam. He was right, though. They knew how to train, so they know how to fight. If they fought with the rebellion, there would be a better chance of winning this war.
You all realize this is a war, correct? You can die here.
Well, it's either I'm gonna die anyways, or I'm gonna die anyways, so might as well go all for it and try to get out of here not dead.
We understand completely.
We do as well.
Yeah. Diana could only stare at our group as we challenged her proclamation. I wrapped my hand around my fiancé's arm, frightened at the idea of participating in a war, but knowing that we needed all the strength we could muster to finish off the Demon Lord. This was the only way that I could go home. Defeated, Diana sighed and rubbed her temples. She's like, God fucking damn it, these people coming in here, ruining my shit.
Very well. I can't exactly keep you here like prisoners, so it will be
You
up to
kinda
you
can,
if you
but-
choose to train for battle. However, I highly suggest just staying here and allowing us to handle it.
Nah, no thanks. I nodded, as did the others. This was really happening. We were going to kill the Demon Lord, and we had 1 week to either prepare for war or wait it out. So I guess I'm gonna get a choice to either train and do whatever. I'm probably gonna train. It's better to be prepared, you know, than not prepared. Diana turned towards me and looked down at my outfit. I had nearly forgotten that I was still in my wedding dress until Diana pointed at my chest.
Lumen infere, velum tebescere.
You're just gonna change my clothes in front of everyone? Okay. I stared at her, unsure of why she was speaking in Latin, until I felt the fabric around my body shift and change. I quickly looked down to see my wedding dress morph into an outfit that looked perfect for the demon world, which would be... The white top shifted into a long-sleeved oversized tunic with a leather corset. The vest, while the bottom part of the gown split and wrapped around my legs, forming into dark leggings. My shoes stretched into long knee-high boots. Okay, that's nice. That's,
Oh, wow. That looks really good
thanks,
on you.
girl. What's your name? Whatever the fuck. Thanks. I blushed, getting used to the feel of the outfit. The corset wasn't tight, but it was still something new along with the rest of the garb. Matthew, however, smiled down at me and kissed over my forehead.
You look really cute.
Oh, thanks, Matthew. You're so nice.
Faye, Rabbit, you both should finish your preparations and head over to the Demon Lord's castle for the spell.
Yeah.
How are you going to get there?
I'll get us there, no problem.
Faye says no problem.
Just make sure we don't get stuck there or lost.
No promises.
They clearly don't trust you, Faye.
Zero, make sure the job is done.
I shall, my lady.
Sarah, Faye, and Rabbit began to make their way out of the room as Diana turned to me and my group. As they left, Diana let out a small sigh.
I will take you to some rooms you may rest in.
All right. Thank you, Diana. Diana merely nodded and led our group out of the room towards our new temporary rooms. This entire experience was not something I expected to go through, especially since it was now interfering with my wedding. I was trapped in the demon world under a curse I couldn't break without the demon lord being killed, and I was expected to wait. The entire journey to my room became one filled with mild anger within me. At least Matthew was here to help me through this, but I still couldn't help but let the situation sink underneath my skin. This wasn't fair at all. I knew Matthew could sense my anger as he lightly squeezed my hand, which was gently cupped in his as he walked beside me.
Hey, what's wrong?
Oh, you know, we were gonna get married, then I got fucked on that end, and, you know, now I'm cursed, and, you know, we're in a war. It's just a lot, man. I mean, it's just a lot. Oh, yeah, of course, tell him. Why not? I mean, I believe you should share. I don't believe that there's any need to hide anything if you're gonna be married to someone. They're there to help you feel better. That's what they're there for. They love you. I let out a shaky sigh and looked at him, letting it go. It's just unfair, you know. This whole thing has become a large, complicated mess, and I gritted my teeth and squeezed Matthew's hand back. I didn't want to complain, as things were going to be fixed soon, but it was still infuriating to think that I couldn't do anything immediately. Matthew slowly released my hand and wrapped it around my shoulders.
Hey, don't worry about it, alright? Think about it as a vacation or something.
Oh yeah, you know, death, destructions, curses, impending doom. This is a great vacation. A vacation? Matthew grinned and nodded, hugging me slightly to his side.
Yeah, a vacation to, see new sights?
Like a decapitation. I couldn't help the amused smile on my face as Matthew tried to make me feel better. It was another reason why I adored him. He did his very best to make sure that I was happy. Despite the crappy situation we were in, I was thankful for that. I wrapped my arm around him and nodded. Thanks, Matthew. Matthew smiled and nodded before kissing my cheek.
You're welcome. Anything for you.
Ah, man, I love you, Matthew. Oh, you're so sweet. We're back in the room again. Matthew and I continued to walk down the halls of the castle until we arrived at the same ambassador room I had slept in before. I guess the room was mine for now. Stepping in, Matthew looked around in slight awe.
Whoa. Awesome digs.
I know, right? I mean, check out this fucking fabric on that bed. Silk. I mean, trust me, touch that shit. Rub your face all over it. Feels amazing. I had to giggle at Matthew's surprise. It was almost like we had stepped into a hotel on a vacation, except this one was forced on us until the end of a civil war. It was mildly messed up, but it was a situation we had to deal with. I walked over to the bed and sat down, letting out a sigh at the feeling of the softness underneath me. The bed was still as comfy as last night. Matthew, however, began to walk around the room, taking in the sight of the decor.
This is a really fancy room. Wonder what room the others got.
I just assumed it was gonna be relatively the same. I didn't think they were gonna look that much different from this one, but I could be wrong. I smiled, watching Matthew ponder for a moment before replying to his statement. Yeah, apparently this is the open ambassador's room. I was able to sleep here when I arrived. Matthew stared at me dumbfounded for a moment before slapping his forehead and shaking his head.
Right. Time's different here. Holy crap. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Wait, huh? I became confused as to what Matthew meant. What did he mean about time being different here? We've already discussed this before, didn't we? But okay, whatever. Matthew looked up at me and grinned sheepishly.
Well, how do I explain this without making it confusing?
Time's different here. That was pretty much it. But apparently my character needs to know more. Matthew rubbed the back of his head, staring at the fireplace before speaking.
Well, you see, time moves faster here compared to the human world.
Yeah, I knew that.
Much faster. If I remember right, then I think the time difference is...
That's pretty
every
fast,
5 hours
actually.
here
Not too
1 hour
fast,
there.
but still pretty fast. Wait, huh? So if I was here for a day, then... Matthew took a moment to do the math before nodding and speaking again.
Yeah, that's right. You were gone from the human world for about 5 hours.
So the wedding has been missed. Cancelled. 5 hours? I was astonished. The time difference was really prominent and a little disorientating. Didn't that mean time moved faster here? He just said that. What the fuck? I was getting confused, holding my head to try and unscramble my thoughts as they collided. It's really not that confusing. Matthew, however, rushed over to me and sat down next to me, hip to hip.
Hey, don't worry about it, okay? We found you, so that's all that matters.
Yes, calm down, girl. I could only nod before looking at the ground. It was a lot to take in, but at least I wasn't really missing for a day in the human world. However, I was going to be here for a week, so in accordance to the time difference, I would be missing for more than a day. How is everyone at home going to react? I could only hope that something was used as a cover to delay the wedding or the like. I looked up to Matthew, now a bit concerned.
Huh? What is it?
Well, we are going to be here for a week, buddy. What happened while I was missing? Matthew frowned a bit and rubbed his head, running his hands through his fluffy hair as he spoke, staring at his knees.
Well, when you didn't come with the rings, we got kind of worried and tried to call you. When you didn't pick up, we kind of panicked, but Irene and Iridessa decided to rush over to the house to see what had happened. They came back, saying you were gone. We pretty much scrambled to use our magic to wipe everyone's memories, reschedule everything,
Oh, well,
and
at least
use
they
the time to
rescheduled
find
it, I
out
guess.
what happened.
Matthew pressed his lips together, most likely remembering what he felt during my absence. I felt bad, but there was nothing I could have done to stop it. Matthew shook his head and continued.
I guess we have to thank Simon for finding you. Without him, we wouldn't have figured out what happened.
Isn't Simon the fucking... Wait, which one's Simon? Is Simon the fucking doll? I don't remember. Simon? Matthew nodded before stuffing his hand in his pocket and pulling out the infuriating stuffed animal. Yeah, this is his fucking fault! Simon blinked a couple of times before looking up at me and giggling like he usually did. You son of a bitch. Simon! Simon jumped from Matthew's hands into my arms and crawled up onto my shoulder, becoming immobile like a doll once he settled between my neck and shoulder. I gave his head a little pat before looking back to Matthew. I'd flick that motherfucker off so fast. Well, he was the one that hid the rings. I had to find him.
I know, but after you were taken, he helped us pinpoint where you were, and bam! Here we are.
Guess he isn't so bad. Fucking dick. Matthew chuckled a bit as he ruffled some of Simon's fur.
I guess this little fur-ball was useful after all.
Jesus. I could only smile before leaning over to kiss Matthew's cheek, making him gasp slightly.
Huh?
Are you still not used to me kissing you? How long have we been together? At least you found me. Soon we'll be able to go home and get married like we planned. It gave me a little hope to let the thought sink in, despite the terrible situation we were in. We would soon be able to go home. I was positive we would win this war and everything would work out just fine in the end. We're definitely fucking hoping at this point, aren't we? Matthew seemed to agree, nodding as well with a smile.
Yeah. We'll go home soon.
Okay. Matthew wrapped his arm around me and nuzzled the side of my head, making me softly giggle. My body felt relieved to have him near me, causing me to wrap my arms around him. My heart was jumping with joy regardless of the situation we were in. Simon took the cue to hop off my shoulder and quickly skittered across the floor and up to the fireplace mantel, resting on it with the decor that sat upon it. Matthew, however, soon released me and fell back onto the bed, feeling its softness. I told you, man, right?
Man, it's been so long since I felt a demon bed.
Softest shit around. What's the difference from a regular bed? Matthew grinned up at me and crossed his hands behind his head, lounging back on the mattress.
Well, demons don't sleep in this world, so we get very comfy beds just so we can lay back and relax on.
I guess that makes sense. Wait, demons don't sleep?
Nah, we're too paranoid that people will kill us in our sleep.
That makes sense.